my strength, our strength, and our Redeemer. In Jesus' mighty name, let all the saints of God with the voice of triumph clap your hands like you're ready to see God move like never before. Thank you, praise team. Somebody say Philippians chapter 4. And the Bible reads, thank God for technology. But I rejoiced in the Lord, real small, greatly, that now at the last your care of me hath flourished again. See, sometimes we looking for something that is already within us. We need to look a little bit deeper. The seeds that were given to you, the life that was given to you, it's going to cause you to flourish again. Somebody just say, I don't need nothing else. 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 It's going to flourish again. Wherein you are also careful, but this is what many of us are missing. Opportunity. It's all we're lacking. Somebody say opportunity. Somebody declare, God gonna give me a chance. Say it like you mean it, God gonna give me a chance. Now say it ugly, God gonna give me a chance. Verse number 11, not that I speak in respect or in regards of need. Apostle Paul, like, I don't even really need anything. But I want to teach you, he said, that for I have learned in whatsoever state I am. Not Texas, that's the state. Not California, not New York. Whatever mental place I'm in, fleshly place, spiritual place, no matter where I'm at, I've learned there with, listen, in that place, with whatever I'm going through, to be content. Somebody say, I'm all right here. I'm all right here. I'm all right. When they ask you, what's wrong with you? Be like, nothing. I'm all right. This is what he said. I know both. Somebody say both. How to be abased. I know how to be humble. I know how to be low. I know how to eat noodles without the little salt package. A hot dog without the bun. I know how, when the lights get turned off, I know how to light a candle. Oh, y'all playing too much. I know my car gas level. I know how far I can push it and still show up to work. Somebody say, I know that's right. And I know how to be abased. We've had an abased season where you didn't know you were going to make it, but the Lord taught you how to make it. Didn't know where the money was coming from, didn't know where help or assistance was coming from, but the Lord supplied every need. Apostle Paul said, I know. If don't nobody know, he like, I know how to be abased and know how to abound, to live in abundance. Look at this thing. Everywhere. Somebody say everywhere. You got to have this on you everywhere you go. You know how to be low and you know how to be high. You know how to have. You need to go have not. Have and the have not. Everywhere and in all things. He said, watch this. I am instructed. That's a command from God. Both to be full and get sleepy and to be hungry, stomach rumbling, both to abound and to suffer need at the same time. Have you ever got paid and your check was already gone? You like, I just got the check and it's already gone. I was having a good day until you called me with that. I was like, Lord, I know you got me, but why I got 10 things trying to connect to me all at the same time? And then the Apostle Paul says, I can do all things through Christ Somebody lay hands on their chest and you pat your chest and be like, through Christ that strengtheneth me. Somebody say, God, give me strength tonight. Somebody declare, God, give me strength tonight. Y'all ain't saying it like you mean to say, God, give me strength tonight. I want to teach very quickly using as a subject one word. Here we go. Put it in your notes. Flourish. Flourish. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. God wants us to flourish, prosper. It is an instruction to be fruitful and, somebody saying, to multiply. You are instructed to flourish. It doesn't feel oftentimes like you flourishing, but the Lord is instructing you to flourish in any state, any place, wherever you are. It is a command of God to flourish. The Apostle Paul said, I'm flourishing again. There was an opportunity that was lacked by people where, yes, I needed some things, I needed some help, but there was no opportunity because God had locked the Apostle Paul away from being able to receive, to get help from those who wanted to help him. Have you ever been in a place where I really want to help you, I just can't help you? Have you ever needed help and there was nobody to help you? The Apostle Paul was in a place, in a position where nobody could help him but God, because God was trying to teach him how to flourish in whatever state he was in, whatever place he was in, wherever God would take him, how to be a base and how to abound. The Apostle Paul was learning, like, hey, it does not matter how low I am, I know God has me. I'm not even going to allow the abundance, the prosperity, the increase, the notoriety, the fame, the money, the friends, the flow to stop my ability from knowing how far I have come from. And he said, I've learned how to be content. I've learned how to be okay. I've learned how to embrace the struggle. I've learned how to embrace this struggle, knowing that it is a system that God is teaching me something in the very moment of where I am suffering. He said, I know how to abound, but I also know how to suffer need. I know how to have money, but I also know how to be broke. I know how to have dreams, but also know how it feels when people don't possibly believe in my dreams. I know how to be good. I know how to be bad. I know how to be up. I know how to be down. The Lord is giving experiences and He's teaching how to be content. Why? Because when you are instructed and commanded to flourish again, the Lord is saying, don't get comfortable being stuck. I don't want you comfortable in lack. I don't want you to be comfortable in not having everything that you need. I want you to flourish again. Somebody declare, I will flourish again. The Apostle Paul said that there was a seed that was given to him, that literally there were people who had deposited. They came to his necessity. They came to his need, everything that he needed in that moment when he was put away. Sometimes God will lock you away where nobody can help you. And he had to be reminded of the people that did love him. Let me bless you. Stop running after people who don't love you and stop focusing on the ones that do. Because a lot of times we are stripped and we are oftentimes confused because we're wanting a specific people to help, to support, to abide, to love, to push, to pray, to prepare, to cause us to flourish. And sometimes we are going to people who are bankrupt and don't have what we need, and our expectations of them are setting us up for emotional failure. And the Apostle Paul was like, I had to think back that when I was in a good place and I was flourishing and everything was going my way, and the relationships that I had now that I'm locked away and you lack an opportunity to come to me, what stimulates me is the fact that I remember how good it can be, how good it can get. This is not my final play. We are not stuck. And he was reminded, I can flourish again. If anybody's in this room that's lacking opportunity, let me declare this over your life: flourish again. Remember the people who do love you. Think about the people who do support you. Remember the good times when everything was going your way. You need something by faith to stimulate that spiritual success in you, that I know that I can do all things through Christ that strengtheneth me. Meaning that there's a continuation. When I look for strength, I'll find strength. If I look for something, if I'm looking for weakness, I'm going to discover weakness. Whatever you end up looking for, you're going to find it. Whatever you're trying to discover, you will discover. You know, sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, okay, are you still triggered? Are you still in trauma? Are you still in pain? Are you who you say that you are? You know, I am my worst critic. I critique myself because I strive for perfection. But I know that it's not by my strength. It's not by my power. It's not by my might. We got to have a willingness to flourish in every area of our life, to know that God gives us strength to blow our own mind. He's giving you strength to be able to see the change, even while you're in a moment of correction, in a moment that seems suffocating, that you can flourish. Again, I'm looking for people that can believe that things will get better. I'm looking for some people that God says things are already better. But why am I focusing on what's wrong? When with one step into prayer, one step into a prophecy, one step into boldness, one step into saying, Lord, I'm going to do this. One step into saying, I got this. One step into this saying, you know what? I'm going to take out the laziness. I'm going to take out the slothfulness. I'm going to take out the complaining. I'm going to take out the excuses. I can do. Not some. All things. Whatever you put your mind to, you're going to be able to do it. You know why we are so self-critical on ourselves, like what we can't do, but we can do, is because we remember what we've done. We remember what has happened, but none of that is in vain. Let me help you. Because whatever state you're in, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, the Spirit of God says there is an instruction in all of it how you're going to see yourself flourish and go to the next level. Like, can you imagine everything flowing in your life without restriction? Why are we putting restrictions, restrictive thoughts, allowing restrictive emotions to stop a flow which causes a resistance to believe in God when he says, I can? Who told you you can't? Why believe in a naysayer? Why believe in your own thoughts that tell you you can't when God says you can? So you got to know and flourish, to prosper, to have increase, to live in abundance, to live in prosperity. It's what you can do and what you will do. Let me help somebody. You got to have a strong spiritual self-talk. Quiet. You got to have a strong self-talk spiritually where you're talking to yourself about what you can do. See, there were seasons where you didn't know that God was just really training you and the Lord was really teaching you. Let me say that one more time. There are seasons, there are times, there are moments where you are ready to go to the next level and flourish, but the Lord is teaching you. The best thing for you to do in this season is learn you. The best thing that you can do is know God and know you. I know my triggers. I know my limitations. I know what I should do. I know what I shouldn't do. But I know me, and I give myself to God, who can do anything with me. Watch this, if I allow him. See, a lot of times we put this little stipend on God and we try to stop him. Lord, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it, I got it. And God says, stop doing my job. Why are you trying to fix you when you should just fight for me? If you fight for me, I'll fix you. I fought for you. I gave my only begotten Son for you, died for you, that you could have eternal life, that no sin, no issue, no problem, no press, no pain, no issue. My Son's blood was so that you could flourish. You could have life and have life more abundantly. I've called my people to flourish. You know what our problem is? Is that we are lacking opportunity. Let's go to the text, verse number 10. When the Lord says, I want you to flourish, he says this here. He says, but I rejoiced. This is how, let me help somebody. If you really want to see God move in your life, just start rejoicing. And when people say, what you praising over? You be like, I don't know. I don't know yet. It's something though. It's going to be real good. It's going to be real big. I know it's great. I know it's going to be something, though. I'm rejoicing in the Lord greatly. You should get on people's nerves at how much you talk about Jesus. You should rejoice in the Lord greatly. Because you know what? He's saying your specific situation does not stop your rejoicing, right? Everything going your way. Oh, Lord Jesus. He my Father. He my Savior. He my leader. He my God. He my everlasting Father. And I love him. And then let hell hit your life, hit your house, hit your kids. You be like, Lord, I don't. Where does your intensity go when things are not going your way? It's easy to be intense and intent, what the Bible says, to be fervent with heat and with power when it's going your way. But you are instructed, whether it's going your way, let me bless somebody in the room, or God's way, I'll still greatly rejoice. See, when things aren't going your way, sometimes it's God's way. When hell hit your life and hit your house and stuff be jacked up, messed up, and tore up from the floor up, maybe that's God's way. Maybe God's trying to show you something. Maybe God is trying to direct you on which way to go and show you your resiliency when life is pushing resistance against you. The best training is resistance training. It's not even weight training. Sometimes weights are unnecessary. Just a little bit of resistance trains the muscles. It shapes the muscle. It shapes your life. It shapes your spirit. It shapes your mind. You know why? It keeps you pushing. I think we got to get our pushback and stop having pushback. Get your pushback rather than getting pushback. I'm pushing the devil down. Every devil I see, pushing him down. I ain't gonna sit up here and have no conversation with the devil. He can out-talk me. He can out-talk you. He'll drop seeds on you that'll manifest for 3-4 months, and then he'll come back to see, are you dead yet? See, one thing that the devil got on us, he believe in what he can do. But do you believe in what you can do? With Christ, I can do all things through Christ that strengtheneth me. Wake up tired and found a flourishing power. Man, I'm like, why stop when God says you are unstoppable? All things. Why do I say unstoppable? All things. All things. All things. All things. Like sometimes I'm keeping all things to myself because all things shouldn't be talked about. All things shouldn't be discussed. See, you know why all things should not be discussed? Because I'm still getting strength for all things. And I can't allow you to talk me out of all things and the strength that's coming to me for all things until I get all things. I want you to be able to say, well, how'd you get all things? God's strength. People ask him, millionaires and billionaires, how'd you make it? They say, strength, hard work, and determination. I'm like, no, God did this. Christ did this. I'm not that smart, but I am that faithful. I'm that faithful because I rejoiced in the Lord. David said, rejoice, and again, I say rejoice. David like, yeah, I'm a man after God's own heart, but you know what? I'm a man after my own heart too. Oh, quiet right there. Let me deal with that. See, you got your heart's desires, and God has heart's desires. You got things that you want to do, and there are things that God want to do. But sometimes God loves you so much, he'll overlook you so you can come to him. I'm going to justify that. Don't worry about that. I'm going to look beyond that. I look beyond your fault, and I tend to your need. You need me. You don't need me to talk about your fault. You need me to be faithful to you, because I would rather you greatly rejoice in me, be rejuvenated, be restored, revelation on your life, rather than you feeling like I reversed the blessing. David said, Lord, whatever you do. See, God was so good to David, he said, whatever you do, don't take the joy of my salvation away from me. Lord, I know I made some mistakes. Lord, I know I did that. I did. But the Lord said, I've chosen you, and you are a man in the room, a woman after my own heart. That now, somebody say that now. At the last, your care of me hath flourished again. This is why it's so important to deposit seeds in people. This is why it's so important to be kind to people. This is why it's so important for people to be kind to you. You know why? Because at your darkest moment, there is a hidden seed on the inside of your spirit. With just the right thought, little water, that thing will flourish again and again and again. You thought that tree was done producing fruit, but God said in your darkest moment, it will flourish again. Oh, let me bless somebody. You know, that like Aaron's rod, it budded, and they cut down. They was trying to see who the next priest was going to be, and they took rods, and they said, Moses said, whoever rod buds overnight. See, some of y'all are actually rods that have been cut down, but there's such a prophecy on your life. God is going to allow you to bloom because you're next in line. See, you're called to flourish. They thought in the cutting of you, there's still it doesn't matter how many times you've been cut off, cussed out, talked about, kicked out. Doesn't matter. You are still going to what? Flourish, bloom. You are still going to be blessed. It doesn't matter your background, age, or your stage. You have still been called to flourish. When God want to flourish you, who can stop you from flourishing? Yeah. It comes from the Spirit of God. See, there are so many things that are already prepared for you, already in line for you. God has already set for you. God has already developed for you. God has already created for you. God has already aligned for you. I'm like, Lord, let me just keep rejoicing, because you know what? That stimulates, my God, God's little mindset. He's like, Noah loved me just like that. I'm going to keep blessing him because I got his attention. So you got to have that heart like that God knows he has your attention. And because you're at attention, you're going to be his intention. I wish I had somebody that heard me by the Spirit of God. His intention is to bless you. His intention is to make you prosper. His intention is to make you abundant. His intention is to make you succeed. That is his intent when you are standing at attention. Lord, I'll rejoice if nobody rejoices. I cry out if nobody cries out. He said, if you don't cry out, the rocks will cry out. See, the earth is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. So we got earthquakes, and we got famines, and we got global warming, and we got sickness, and we got disease, and we got infirmity. We got all this crazy stuff happening. You know why? The earth is saying, I need somebody to talk about the name of Jesus and start rejoicing, because in the heavenly realms, God is trying to send a blessing to the people, but I'm looking for somebody who knows how to rejoice. Rejoice greatly. Now at the last year care of me. Paul was like, man, this is the last time, man. This is the last time. This is the last time I'm going to get this little package deal, this last little blessing. But you know what? I'm going to make good on it. I always ask the question, if God gave you one seed, are you going to eat the seed? Are you going to sow the seed? God gave his only begotten son. Are you going to reject the seed, or are you going to receive the seed? Are you going to receive the son, or are you going to reject the son? Why? Because as long as I got Jesus, flourishing again ain't a problem. See, I done flunked out of class, and then I had a teacher who favored me so much who just passed me through. Let me be honest. See, you can find favor in areas you flunked. That's the glory of God. People are like, you're not even smart enough for this. But God is through me. See, that's why we must embrace the reality of when somebody gives you something, blesses you with something. I see this. God is about to bless and is blessing his people and has blessed his people so greatly. Like this one thing that God has done for you literally leads you to everything else. Okay? So you're asking God, Lord, I need $100 million. Well, take the $10 I gave you and do right by the 10. And then the favor that I'm giving you, regardless of your flunk, I'm going to lead you to a future where you can flourish. Let me bless somebody. You want an apple tree. Lord, I'm looking out. Lord, how come I can't have an apple tree like that? How come I can't have an orange orchard and a vineyard full of grapes? And he's saying, dum-dum, look at all the seeds I gave you. See, sometimes we want flourish, and we don't see flourish, my God, in an area where when we get seeds, we don't see that as flourishing. We want the tree. But every tree starts with a seed. You're flourishing by what he gave you and what he's given you to be able to use as a gift that will cause you to flourish. Your past is a seed for your future. Your heartache and pain is a seed for your future. Having an understanding that God is doing something, even though I do not agree with it, but it's helping me though. It's teaching me strength. It's teaching me resiliency. It's teaching me one phrase, watch this, 2 words, self-control. Trusting God when hard. Trusting God when difficult. Trusting God when I don't understand. Trusting God when I don't know. And the Apostle Paul had to remind himself, yeah, I'm the Apostle Paul, but don't forget I was Saul too. When you get your back up against the wall, that devil will play on your mind and be like, he'd be right on your top, be like, I remember who you used to be. I remember what you used to do. And Paul had to remind himself, I ain't Saul no more. So I had to look deep within inside of myself and say, you know what? I'm going to flourish again. I might not have food. I might be locked up in a prison. I might not have nobody to pray for me. I might not have any friends around me. I might be locked up in this. This might be my last night to live. But you know what? I will greatly rejoice in God. And then he began to flourish again. God says, I'm not going to let nobody else take care of you better than I take care of you. I don't want nobody else to get the glory for me being God in your life. I want a relationship with you that gives you revelation of me. The more I have relationship with God, the more I see revelation of God. The more I have relationship, the more I can fight resistance because he gives revelation on who he is in the very moment of your suffering. I'm like, Apostle Paul had to tell the people, they're like, I'm sorry, I can't show up for you. We've experienced some of that in life. Things have been so tough. Like, people are like, you know what? I hate to see you like that. I've had some people walk away in my life and be like, no, I can't see you like that, man. My friendship or our relationship has got to break up, man, because right now, who you are and who you have become ain't who you're supposed to be. I've had friends like that, had people in my life. The only stage that we had a connection and an agreement was our trauma. So the power of agreement was because both of us was hurt, but we didn't look to God for help. So there was a lack of opportunity because of the opposition, and sometimes you have to disconnect from opposition so you can see your opportunity. I need this thing to be clear for you so you can see opportunity. Apostle Paul said, you know what? You lacked opportunity. You can't come to me. You're trying to get to me. You're trying to feed my need. You're trying to bring necessity. You're trying to bring clothes. But then God is like, you know what? Everybody trying to help you while I'm trying to teach him, I'm going to put opposition in their way. Let me bless somebody. Have you ever just tried to help somebody and it got hard? Like you started helping people and it was harder on you. And they're like, where you at? You're like, bro, I'm fighting right now. Like whatever you got going on in your life, hey, I'm going to have to just disconnect because my washing machine started shaking and I don't know what's going on. Doors got to rattling. The candles lit themselves and I'm just like, this is spiritual warfare, and this fight ain't got nothing to do with me. Quit fighting for people whom God is trying to instruct. Quit getting in the way of God's instruction because you lacked opportunity, because God does not want you to take that opportunity. Some of this stuff that you just got to preserve your mind, your heart, your strength. You can't save everybody. You can't help everybody. Every dog on the street ain't a stray. Some of them jokers just ran away. We feeling bad for Ruffy. Ruffy walking like that, poor dog. You're like, well, he got hit by that truck. You should have stayed in the backyard. A dog will return back to his vomit. And a pig will go back to the mud. Watch this. Stop trying to save people and neglect yourself when that opposition is their nature. Some people have a nature you can't help. That's their nature. Why he do that? Why she? That's their nature. You can't help that. If it's a dog, it's a dog. Cows moo. They don't bark. I'd be confused with that little Chick-fil-A little sign. That little cow be like, eat more chicken. I'm like, what the man? That's good marketing, though. I ain't gonna lie. Really good marketing. I'm confused, like cow, chicken, that don't matter. Okay, that don't line up. All right. But in a sense, when you see somebody in their nature, you don't nurture negative nature. I'm teaching so good tonight. You don't nurture negative nature lest you negotiate what God has called you to do. Sometimes people are like, be still, don't move. Let me do what I'm going to do. And be like, no, God, I need to help him. God, I need to run out there and help. And then you like, boop, you before the Lord. You like, how did I get here? You be like, I told you to sit still. Now you got a bump on your head. You're like, how did I get here? Well, shoot, you're trying to nurture a nature and you negotiate your flourish moment. Watch this. He said you lacked opportunity. He had to tell the people that what I have going on ain't got nothing to do with you. Let me help somebody. Stop placing blame on people who have nothing to do with what God is teaching you in your life. See, we love to find somebody to blame. Oh, it's quiet in here. I got to blame somebody. Why? Because it makes me feel good about the decisions that I made, either in error or to find equity. To play the blame game is to miss the blessing. Don't blame people, go to God. I'm like, man, they did. Man, God be like, I'm not concerned about that because I'm still causing you to flourish. The only reason why they lacked opportunity is because I made them miss the opportunity. Watch this. I don't want people in your way. I don't want nobody in your way. I don't want ugly folk in your face. Let me bring y'all in. I don't want all that for you. Can you trust God enough to remove people out your life and receive that as a blessing and not as a curse? It's not a curse. God says this, I'll bless who blesses you, but I also curse who curses you. I'll lift those up who lift you up. But I'll cause those who cause a downtroddenness to make you low, to make you feel indifferent. The same thing they sent to you, I'll send to them. Let me prove this in the Bible. Let's go to the Bible. David he was minding his own business. Saul killed thousands. David killed tens of thousands. Saul started hating on him. And Jonathan had to go in his room and say, man, my daddy trying to kill you. And then Saul came in with rage. Jonathan, you're supposed to be the next king. And you're giving your inheritance to this shepherd boy? And what did Saul do in rage of not having his son as a successor? The evil one, the enemy, spoke to him and said, what I'll do is I'll just kill David. Rather than letting what God is actually doing and seeing this as a blessing rather than seeing it as a curse, let me tell you this. When people envy you and get jealous of you, they will feel like they're cursed because you're blessed. So they start attacking you, coming against you, scandalizing you, saying all kind of stuff. You know why? Because it makes them feel better about themselves. Saul was jealous. You know, the ladies down there danced with the little tambourine and the little hula hoop dress. And they were like, ooh, that David. Ooh, he killing tens of thousands. Ooh, that David. He's something else. But Saul was used to that praise. Saul didn't know how to be abased, and he didn't know how to be abound. He was so used to being abound because of his position as a king that when the next king showed up, he couldn't handle not being noticed. Woo! But David said, I'm not going to miss the opportunity. Saul, I don't need your help because what God gonna do, he gonna do it with or without you. How I fight is how I fight. How you fight is how you fight. There ain't even no comparison, even though there's a connection. Yeah. Sometimes opposites attract because it shows you your value. Sometimes God got to give you somebody in your life to show you, like, you know what? Proud of me. I know that's hard to receive that right there. You start looking around. And you start, man, you know where I could be? Me and you, bruh, we did the same thing, but I'm looking at your tombstone while I'm looking at my triumph. We did the same stuff, but we didn't get the same result. Ain't that something to rejoice about? What God covered you from? And what he killed other people for? You got to know you somebody different when God cover you and is kind to you and is keeping you, even though you feel like there's an opportunity lack. Apostle Paul said, you know what? God got me. God gonna keep me. I'm not trying to show out for nobody. I ain't trying to tell nobody nothing that I don't know for myself. I'm in this cell. I'm hungry. These rats around me. I got chains on my feet. My head is in the stalk. They're trying to claim my life. But you know what? If I rejoice in the Lord. See, this was not the first time the Apostle Paul was in the stalks, was in chain, was in prison. The last time he was in this situation, he remembered when he rejoiced, he prayed and sang, he got loose. Y'all ain't messing with the prophet today. You got to be in such a mindset that I remember this time last year when I was in that, I remember what I did to get out of that. So the seed of prayer, whether I'm by myself in worship and a song, is going to be the very seed that causes me to flourish, to get up out of the situation that I'm in, because I'm not lacking opportunity when God has commanded me to flourish. Verse number 11. I'm going to go back and listen to the tape myself, because I'm blessing me right now. My God. Not that I speak in respect of want. Let me bless you. Apostle Paul said, I don't want nothing from you. Have you ever had somebody to look at you, you knew they wanted something? You already know they're about to ask for something even before their mouth open. And you got to... Have you ever respectfully, kindly tried to walk away nice? And they're like, wait a minute. You be like, hold on, my phone ringing. Hold on a second. Let me grab this. See, when I get around people that I don't want to talk to, I set an alarm to call me so I can walk away. I'm just playing, y'all. Y'all ain't never did that. Okay, I'm the only one that did it. Not that I respect of want. I don't want nothing. See, sometimes when people see you in a situation, they think that the only reason why you're calling them is because you want something. Sometimes I just want to pray. Sometimes I just need to, I don't even want to talk about my situation. I just want to thank God for being here. I don't want nothing from nobody. We don't want nothing from nobody. Sometimes we just need a person. Sometimes we just need that presence. Have you ever been in a house by yourself? You're like, man, I sure wish I had a companion. Sure wish I had a friend. I remember my wife went to go to her mom's house one time, and she stayed down there 2-3 days. I was the loneliest husband in the world. I'm talking about house was quiet. Kids was gone. I said, I can't live like this. I just found out that I was still traumatized. I was scared of the dark. I slept with all the lights on in the house while my wife was gone. I'm like, well, you bigger than this, Negro. You bigger than this, bro. Come on, man. You stronger than this, man. You got all the lights on in the house. You tough cookie when the wife and the kids here, but then you by yourself, you like, man, what was that thing? What's going on? TV on, radio on. I'm eating chicken nuggets till 3 o'clock in the morning, just trying to stay up. I'm like, in 3.5 hours, sun gonna come up, and I'm gonna be good. I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then I'm calling her. I'm like, babe. She's like, boy, what's up? What you want? I'm like, nothing. What you doing? Sleep. You sleeping good or you all right? I don't want. Sometimes when you get around people, presence is powerful. Spirit is powerful. Knowing that you have somebody in the room with you, next to you, is enough to sustain you. If you don't want an empty house, don't have an empty soul. I don't need no empty life. I don't want to be an empty vessel. Apostle Paul said, I don't want nothing. So what he did to the people was, he said, watch this, in regard of, I don't want anything, because you know why? I don't want anything. I learned. I don't want nothing because I've learned in whatsoever hospital bed, broke, lonely, angry, tired, fatigued, frustrated, being misunderstood, misunderstanding life, whatsoever state I'm in. See, my state ain't your state. And your state ain't my state. Recognize when somebody trying to make their state your state, but that ain't my state. Woo, Shandi, that's a mistake. Whatsoever state I'm in. Therewith. Who you there with? Is depression knocking on your door? Is loneliness on your door? Is brokenness on your door? Whatever you're there with, God gonna deal with it if you remain content. Why are we trying to fight off struggle and we supposed to learn from it? You can't fight it off. Watch this. You can't even sleep this one off. Yeah, see, I've been one of them people, I got so drunk, I tried to sleep that thing. I couldn't even sleep it off. Quiet. Got so high, I couldn't sleep it off. Yeah. Sober house couldn't help me get that off. Yeah. I tried to wash it off, couldn't wash it off. Tried to rub it off, couldn't rub it off. God said, you know what I want to do? I'm teaching you to learn that whatsoever state you in, how to be content, how to keep me in the mix, how to keep me in the flow, how to keep looking for me when you're lost, how to keep calling my name, how to keep building up your most holy faith, stirring up your most holy gift. God, I ain't done yet. You just getting started. I might be in a dark place, but you're not done with me yet. I might be lost right now, but you ain't stopped loving me. You got to self-talk yourself like that spiritually. I'm okay right here because this is not where I'm going to be. I got 3 minutes, and we're going to go. Verse number 12. Let me speed through this. And he said this very quickly. I know both. Somebody say both. Watch this. This is what we need. Everybody like, how to be a base. I'm going to bless you with this revelation. We're going to go. How to be a base, and I know how. It doesn't say to be abound. It says to abound. So to be a thing is a state. Good God from on high. To be a thing is a place. God never wants abundance and prosperity and to flourish to be a place. It's something that you continue doing as you rejoice in him greatly, but you will always remember your foundation of a basement. So the only way to get to the top is to be low. The only way to grow is to go low. The only way to get to the next level is to be low. A base. A base is your foundation. That's where I know everything will flow. And I know how to. See, everybody don't know how to abound. See, you got to know how to do that too. God bless you with 100 million. What you going to do with it? You got to know how to. See, if you know how to move without nothing, you'll know how to move with everything. You made it on $5 and a noodle. And you telling me that you can't make it with supernatural abundance where everything works for you, everything flows for you, everything goes your way, the favor of God is with you. And then watch this, everywhere can you be abundant in places you are not wanted? You go back to mama's house, and you go back to family members' house, and they don't want to deal with you because they can't receive the new you? Can you flourish with a boss who's jealous of your work ethic because they lazy? Can you deal with and contend with people that intimidate you because they smarter than you? Oh, man, you get in a room, and I was dealing with a guy today. He was like, man, no, I got a $40 million contract in the NFL, and it was great. But he's like, bro, I be finding myself weak because some of the people that I be hanging around with have $240 million, and I feel broke. And I was like, brother, you crazy. I was like, bro, what you talking about? I'm like, bro. But he's like, see, people with more abundance live a different life. And because they have access to certain things that I don't know because I don't have that amount of money, I'm learning new things because they have access to it because they have that type of finance. I was like, bro, you need to learn about abasement. You need to learn how to be content. You know how to learn how to be low. You know why? Because you'll never compare yourself to somebody else's wealth because you know what? They might not be wealthy forever. You trying to keep up with this and keep up with that and live this and do this, and eventually you end up going broke because you have to know how to abound. See, you came from nothing and God blessed you with something. You need to work the something until the something feel like everything. Never compare your blessing to somebody else and feel like you've lost when God just blessed you with the greatest blessing you've ever had in your life because you know how far you have come from. You got some people buying steaks and you got homeless people on the street. It's just like a bologna sandwich. That bologna sandwich seems like everything to them, especially when you're hungry. I don't need steak and shrimp. Right now, that's too rich for my stomach because I ain't had nothing to eat. Too rich for my blood. There are certain things that are too rich for the blood, too rich for the stomach, too rich for life. Because you know what? If you just get that one thing and you feel like you ain't going to get nothing else past that, you be like, what was it worth for me to get this big blessing and never get anything else? Oh, my God. But if you can be content with God and get a little this, get a little blessing, get a little favor, get a little life, get a little love, get a little money, get a little flourish, get a little increase, get a little elevation, get a little bit of that next level, you'll understand how to both abound and I'm gone. I got 30 seconds to suffer need. This is where I end. Abound and to suffer need. That means that God is blessing you, but he's not done blessing you. Let me say this. Watch this. I'm blessing you. The blessings are coming, but at the same time, I'm still suffering because I still need something from God. So I'm enjoying getting the blessings from God while also telling him my heart's desire. I know you ain't through blessing me yet. I just got the house, I just got the car, but you're not through blessing me yet. I just filled out the application. I'm about to get the job and the promotion, but you know what? I know you're not through blessing me yet. He learned how to abound and rejoice in God, but also suffer need because I know God is not through blessing. This is not the only blessing I get. This is not the only day that I'm going to live. I'm suffering need because I know God ain't through blessing me. God ain't through blessing you. And then he says it as we close. I can do. Verse 13. I can do this. You can do this. You are going to shock you. You doubted you, but you will shock you. I pray you evolve to a level you will never, as a butterfly, see your caterpillar. Worms don't think about crawling when the butterfly had wings. Why think about wormy days when you can fly over what you used to crawl through? I can do this. Watch this. The cocoon. Be content in the cocoon. You're being developed. You're God's understudy of metamorphosis, of change and transformation and shift. This is why I love the hand of God, because he will never allow you to look like where you come from. Let us stand. I can do all. Man, I can flip this message like a hot pancake at IHOP. So many different ways. Give it a little sausage, a little egg, a little grits to go with that thing, a little cheese on there. How many of y'all like eggs with a little cheese? I got a yes, sir. Grits or oatmeal? I like that. Y'all some country people in the room. What y'all put? Salt or sugar in your grits? Yeah, about okay. It's a mixed crowd. Yeah. I can do what? Oh, things hands lifted. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Come on, I can do it. I can do it. Hands lifted. I can do it. I can do it. I can do what? All things. Whatever God puts before me, whatever God puts on my plate, whatever God puts on my table, I can do all things because God says, I'm going to allow the life of Christ to strengtheneth you. God, strengthen your people tonight. Strengthen their minds, strengthen their homes, strengthen their families, strengthen their willpower, give them what they need, and cause them to flourish. Flourish again. Flourish again. Somebody declare, I will flourish in every area of my life. I will flourish in every area of my perspective. I will flourish in my home. I will flourish in my family. I will flourish because I have a future in Christ. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen. Come on, elder. As we give unto God, this is how we give at Triumph Worship Center. It's on the screen. We don't leave the house without a seed. All of you that were online in the room, I love you. May the Lord bless you, keep you, restore you as he's prepared you to flourish. Have a safe drive home. I love y'all. I'll see you 10:30 a.m. Sunday morning. God bless you.